Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about how to find the volume of a composite solid. We'll be going through two examples. First one being this example with the two cones. Second one being this example with a triangular prism with a cylinder cut out of it. So let's dive in. All right, so starting with this first one, essentially what we have here are two cones that are put together. So therefore, I'm going to find the volume of the larger cone, and then separately I'm going to find the volume of the smaller cone, and then I'm going to add those volumes together to get the overall volume of this composite figure. So let's remind ourselves, what is the volume of a cone? The volume of a cone in general is equal to 1/3 times pi r squared h. Right? So it's basically the same as a cylinder, except 1/3 of that because it doesn't go the full way, right? It gets smaller and smaller as it goes along. Okay, so let's find the volume of the small or of the big cone first, which is going to be 1/3 pi r squared h. In this case, if we look at the bigger cone, I notice that the diameter of the big cone is 4 meters, which means that the radius of the big cone is equal to 2 meters, and the height of the bigger cone is 8 meters. So I'll be substituting in 2 and 8. All right, so 2 squared is 4, and 4 times 8 is 32. So I'm going to get 32 over 3 pi. All right, so that's the volume of the big cone. Next, I'm going to talk about the volume of the small cone. So it is also going to be 1/3 pi r squared h, but of course r and h with respect to the small cone. Now the radius for the small cone is actually the same, it's still 2. And the height for the smaller cone is right here, it's 6. So therefore, we're going to get 2 squared, which is 4, times 6, which is 24. 24 over 3 pi. And recall that 24 over 3, or 24 divided by 3, is 8. So it's going to be 8 pi. All right, so now I'm going to, in order to find the full volume, the overall volume is equal to the volume of big cone plus the volume of the small cone, which is equal to 32 over 3 pi plus 8 pi. Now 32 over 3 is the same as 10 and 2/3, right? Because 3 times 10 gives us 30. So then we'd have a remainder of 2. So this is the same as 10 and 2/3 pi plus 8 pi. That's the same as 18 and 2/3 pi. And that would be our exact answer. So if they want the exact answer is 18 and 2/3 pi, and that's in cubic meters because this is the volume here. Now let's say that they would like the approximation. In that case, we can use 3.14 for pi. So we can do 18 and 2/3 and then multiply by 3.14 as a substitute for pi, and get that means that this is approximately equal to, if we round to 2 decimal places, 58.61 cubic meters. So this is our approximate answer right here by substituting pi for 3.14, and this is our exact answer right here, the 18 and 2/3 pi. Because pi is irrational, and so as soon as we round off something, we're getting an approximate answer rather than the exact answer. All right, if there's any questions about any of this, feel free to leave those down in the comment section. Let's do one more example. So in this example, we have a triangular prism with a cylinder cut out. So the difference for this one is, rather than adding the two volumes together like we did for the first example, we're going to be subtracting. We're going to say, well, the volume is going to be the volume of the triangular prism minus the hole that is cut out of that triangular prism, right? That part is no longer part of the volume because it was cut out. So in this case, the overall volume is going to be equal to volume of the triangular prism minus the volume of the hole, right? So minus the volume of the cylinder. Now, in this case, what is the volume of the triangular prism? Well, the volume of a prism in general is the area of the base times the height. So the volume of the triangular prism is going to be area of the base times the height. And what is the area of a triangle base, right? So what is the area of a triangle base? Well, that would be base times height divided by 2. Now, something I want to note here, and this is something that sometimes trips people up, so I do want to clarify it. Here we have height over here for base times height, and then we also have times height again. Now, this first height here that I'm putting in red, this refers to this height here, right? This refers to the height of the triangle. Whereas this height over here refers to the height of the overall shape, right? Because area of the base is taking the height with respect to the base. And then the height of the overall triangular prism is actually this height here. It's actually 4. So that's something I want to just clarify there, that when we're doing area of the base, when we say base times height over 2 or 1/2 base times height, we're talking about the base or the height of just that base. Whereas the times height for the overall volume of the triangular prism is the overall height of that prism. All right, so with that out of the way, let's multiply. So the base of the base is 6 feet times the height of the base is 5 divided by 2, and then times the height of the overall prism is 4. So 6 times 5 is 30. So we have 30 over 2 times 4. 30 over 2 is 15, so we have 15 times 4, and that's equal to 60. So therefore, the answer is 60 cubic feet. All right, the next part is we want to find the volume of the cylinder. So let's do it over here. What is the volume of a cylinder in general? Well, that's going to be pi r squared times h. And in this case, h, height, refers to the height of this cylinder. Okay, so that's actually going to be the same as the purple height in the previous one, right? Note that this height right here is the same as this distance right here. So that height is going to be 4. As for the radius, well, the thing is the diameter is 2 feet. And so the radius is just going to be half of that. The radius is going to just be 1 foot. So therefore, radius is 1 and height is 4. So we have pi 1 squared times 4, which is equal to 4 pi cubic feet. And so therefore, the answer here would be that the volume of the triangular prism is 60 minus the volume of the cylinder is 4 pi square feet, or cubic feet rather, sorry. And so that's the exact answer right there. It's 60 minus 4 pi cubic feet. Whereas, let's say they say something like round to 2 decimal places or round to 3 decimal places, something like that. In that case, what I'm going to do with my calculator, I'm going to type in 3.14 for pi. So 60 minus 4 times 3.14, or you can use a pi button, that works too, equals, and I'm getting 47.44 cubic feet approximately. So here's our approximate answer. And then this one up here is the exact answer. So if they ask for the exact answer in the question, you put the first one here, the 60 minus 4 pi cubic feet. If they ask for the approximate answer, we'll sub in 3.14 for pi, and we'll get the approximate answer is 47.44 cubic feet when we're rounding to the nearest couple of decimal places there. As always, if you have any questions for any of this, please feel free to leave those down in the comment section, and we'll see you for the next one.